what's up, YouTube land? How you doing? We're gonna go on a euphorific date. This is gonna be great.
Totally not incredibly painful to sit through or anything.
Oh yeah, I did the Eris one, which is probably what like 80% of people do.
You really have to go out of your way to like either not talk to her or just be mean.
Let's go.
Once again, showing off, they remixed Yuffie's theme with, like, kind of the Gold Saucer theme. Really good touch.
So, I am further than Trev in the story, finally. I decided that it was too ridiculous to do all the dumb extra stuff right now. Because you get to the point where, like, even if you do all the extra quests and everything, you, like, max out at level 49 or 50. And you do that, there's this, Trevor's probably not going to show it, there's this quest called the Ultimate Party Animal, which is, do you meet him in the story, the Shinra middle manager, or is that from FF Rebirth? Or, I'm sorry, FF7 Remake.
I guess so. I don't know.
Anyway, so there's this Shinra middle manager that makes you, middle management, that makes you do a bunch of stuff, and he does this Coliseum quest, a fight quest, and it says, oh yeah, level 46 is your expected level, and I was like 4 levels over it, and I just kept getting BTFO'd, and I didn't even get to the final part, which is a fight against him himself, and I was like, yeah, okay, never mind.
That is the very, very last side quest in the game. You have to complete every other side quest to unlock it.
Yes. But I thought since I did it all, I was like, oh, I should be okay, and I was not okay, so I'm just going through the rest of the story, continuing on, and I think I'm fairly close to the end. I know there's 14 chapters, and I feel like I'm almost done with chapter 13.
The only thing I remember being hard about that Coliseum quest is that one meme match where you have to face against 10 Tonberries, but you just need the Cosmic Call or whatever it's called.
There were 2 Giga Cactars to start off, and then I looked this up, and apparently it gave a lot of people problems. And then there were 10 Tonberries, and then after that there's like 2 or 3 of those Jokers, which are also very hard.
Yeah.
But also, I was, you know, not maximum level or anything like that, so I wanted to get that done before I finished it, but whatever. So we'll finish off the I'll finish off the story and go back, I guess.
Yeah, this part's probably also going to be kind of rough. Have to do a lot of hard fights. And there's one fight that I forgot that you have to do with Eris and Tifa, the Rude and Elena fight.
Oh, yeah.
And I was really, really hoping I could do it with Yuffie and Eris instead. But nope.
I did do all of the...
Rip Jesse.
No! I did do all of the Chocobo things. It's fun. Like, it's just like everything else in this game. It's like well made. I just wish there was a little bit less of it. There were like 20 races, and I was like, all right, bud. Like, I get it, you know.
I found them fun until they become like obstacle courses that like hit you around like a pinball. The stupid Cactar gates.
The Cactar gates were sincerely awful. There's these gates, for anyone who hasn't done it, that they just kind of open and close every, I don't know, 10 seconds or so. And there's just certain times where you come right in the middle of it. And of course, the CPUs aren't going to run into them. At least the top CPUs aren't going to run into it. So they magically know when to just go left or right, and you're like, okay. Yeah, that was definitely the most annoying. The other stuff, I was like, whatever. The other stuff, I was like, this is skill. But the Cactars, I was like, this is honestly very just luck-based. And if the Cactar gate stops you, that's like immediately 7-second loss, and you might as well restart.
Yeah, the one saving grace that makes like it possible is you can restart between races for like the Gold Cup and some other ones. So if like you get super screwed over, and you can do it for the Ultimate Party Animal one too. But if you get super screwed over, you can just restart.
Yeah, that was really nice. I did appreciate them specifically putting that into the game. I thought that you would get something different for getting first place in all 3 of the Gold Cup races, but all that really happens is they go, and he got all 3 first places when they announce it. I don't believe there was anything.
I'm not sure if there might have been a Johnny like achievement thing for it.
Oh, yeah.
I don't remember exactly, but if you did it, it's probably to be safe. You should do it.
I did do it, but I forgot about the Johnny. Do you have to do the Johnny stuff to get the plat, right?
Yes.
Oh boy.
And
just casually going through the game, I think I'm only like have 50% of them, and I'm like, wow.
If you're uninterested in doing hard mode, you can't get the platinum because you have to do all the Chadley VR things for one of the Johnny achievements, and yeah.
Well, the only thing...
It's the hardest thing in the game by so...
The only saving grace is that once I get to the maximum level and all the materia maximum level, it just seems like you can follow guides to be like, have this exact setup, you know? I haven't been doing that so far just because I want to try to brute force it. But having the right materia combinations obviously is the name of the game in hard mode. As we've seen, there are certain battles that Trev finishes in 3 seconds with the right materia.
Yeah. Especially having the right materia on your armor slot for elemental plus something to just drain damage. It's basically essential. Like there's some of the harder VR Chadley stuff is like you have to do like a 10 round like thing, and like one of the rounds might be Phoenix, and Phoenix has like an auto like AoE cutscene attack that does fire damage. And I swear if you don't have elemental fire on your armor slot, you just die.
I could definitely see that, especially in a game where you can only max out at level 70. I could see them doing that.
Oh god, doing this in English. We're doing the Yuffie play and date in English. This is
That's
so
right.
awful.
Rosa, how did you find me?
And I'm not gonna pretend that Japanese voice acting is like on another level. Like they're so much more professional or whatever. It's just that language barrier of me not like I can't speak or understand Japanese at all. That language barrier is really nice just to smooth out amateur performances. And English dubs are usually like the last in the line of like a Japanese game's development. They usually just rush it out. They usually don't have a huge budget for it, so that's why it's always bad.
I thought that these main character voices are pretty good.
Yeah, they're fine.
I guess the only one I'm not is like whatever is Red 13's.
Cloud is okay. Barrett's good. Eris is good. Yuffie is okay.
Tifa's okay. Okay to good, I guess.
Kate Sip's probably the best, but it might just be the barrier of having him super Scottish accent.
Yeah. I think Barrett's voice is pretty.
Yeah,
darn
Barrett's
good.
the second best of Kate Sip.
Alright, here we go, get 100%.
Okay.
I certainly did not.
I remember one of these kind of... Whoops, I forgot how this works. You have to do like a perfect performance for one of the Johnny achievements.
Are you serious?
And I remember it being kind of annoying.
Well, I definitely didn't do that. I knew you had to get like S tier or whatever, and I did that. I didn't realize you had to do perfect. Especially the third battle.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember, because I did this like 3 months ago at this point. I remember like I had to look it up, and then it was something stupid. I just don't remember what it was though.
Yeah, once I get to the Johnny stuff, I'll just obviously utilize a guide. Anything I don't find upon playing the game to its fullest, you know what I mean, is... I'm just looking up. I mean, it's mid-July, and I'm still playing it, so...
Never have I seen a swordsman dance with such grace and skill.
I gotta be done
Go
100% by the time Silent Hill 2 comes out.
You have 3 more months, I guess. It is in the middle of July, by the way. We're approaching the 4-month mark of this game being out. March, April, May, June. Oh, the 5th month.
Hey, I've been trying. I have like 110 hours in it. So if you think about that, that's like...
wow, I have...
I also, unfortunately, left it on for periods of time.
Yeah, I was about to say, I have... With all these extra playthroughs and me doing everything, I have 150 hours.
Okay, so it's probably less. Okay, so let's say I have 90 hours. I have 90 hours in, over 5 months. That's like 20 hours a month. So, you know. There's just certain days where I just cannot play. Like, for instance... Well, not only that, but like, on Mondays, for instance, I go into work at like 9, and I get home at like 8 p.m. So like... And I usually get home and I'm just so damn tired, so...
Yeah, I usually, even though I don't do any of that, I usually never play games on days at work. It's just awkward. It's like, do I want to play an hour before I get home and like maybe 2 hours after work when I'm tired and just want to relax?
Yeah. Yeah, no, I get it.
I gotta be playing something like super casual, like some stupid JRPG.
Well, yeah, that's what's been kind of helpful recently. I have been able to, certain mornings, like this morning I played for like an hour, because I was up pretty early. But the stuff I'm doing in Rebirth right now doesn't, you know, take too much brain power. Not like I'm playing on hard mode or anything.
I just finished a game called Soul Hackers 2, which is made by Atlas, and it's probably the worst Atlas game that they made in like the last like 10-15 years. It's just so baffling and so... It's not horrible, but it's just... It's made by the same people that made that stupid Tokyo Mirage Session Sharp FE game on Switch and Wii U.
Oh.
It's like the same team, and like, I just don't know why they exist. They're just so mediocre.
Because weebs will buy literally anything.
But the thing is that Tokyo Mirage Sessions flopped twice. Even on the Switch it flopped. It's like, how does something flop on the Switch, but Tokyo Mirage Sessions found a way?
That is true. How does something flop on the Switch?
And it's not, it's like Atlas is like, they're not going to go for, you know, Square Enix numbers because their budgets are 1/10 the amount.
Sweet soda.
All good things must come to an end.
I know he's Scottish, but come on, England! Score some effing goals! You ever see that Absolute Unit English fan who always is shirtless, who just always bangs on a drum?
Yeah.
Yeah, I forget his name, but like, if that, I wouldn't want that to be like my dad, but if that was like me uncle, I'd be like, hey uncle, oi, you're gonna watch the footy match today. I'd be like, yeah, dude, let's go. I just think it's so, I mean, I'm not, the sports I like football, obviously has a lot of, like, negative things about it. Like, when people are like, a 3-hour football match has 30 minutes of actual stuff. I'm like, yep, it absolutely does. But it's so funny when people get so hardcore about soccer. Like, soccer. Oh, you did the easy one?
I never even picked Barrett or Red 13 as soulmate. I don't know what happens. I'm sure,
it's the hardest one.
Oh, okay.
Cloud. Don't.
Faithless charade. Love is not what an illusion.
I mean, probably the Simpsons reference that gets stuck in my head the most is half pack, pass to wing, pass to center. Center holds it. I think about that all the time. And it's so funny because, like, in, like, Brazil or in England, that exact thing can happen. And people are like, oh, I want a match! What a bloody good match! And I'm like, sure. I do have extreme respect for soccer players, though, because they oftentimes play in, like, ridiculously hot environments and are constantly running for 45 minutes straight twice. Like, I don't know who decided to have the World Cup, which takes place in, like, June and July, in freaking Brazil rainforest. Like, that was, I think, 2014, but, like, who planned that? Like, who was like, And none of the stadiums were domes. I forget, either they are going to do one in Abu Dhabi or in Qatar or something like that. And there you absolutely have to have a dome or else people will actually die. But I forget if they did that already or it's happening the next one.
Didn't they do Olympics or like an Olympics is happening soon in Saudi Arabia?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. And with that, you just legitimately cannot be like, we are going to have this event outside. Just anybody is going to be like, I am dead.
Dude, I watched a bunch of videos on Saudi Arabia's weird AF like mega projects that they're doing right now, and it's just the most like baffling waste of billions upon billions, if not trillions of dollars I've ever seen.
Is that the one where they're making like their own island? Is that the thing? Where they like have to keep like moving all this space to make this like very specific like high roller island, or is that Qatar?
I think that's Dubai, actually.
Oh, Dubai. Yeah, that makes sense.
But Saudi Arabia is doing two things. The most specific one, that's the most infamous, is called the Line. The idea is that they are making this incredibly thin, but like 60-mile long city called the Line. And they're doing it in the most uninhabitable place in Saudi Arabia, in like the top left corner, where it's just nothing but desert and like literal nomad tribes.
Cool.
And they have spent like, I swear, like 10 if not $50 billion on this already, and they have absolutely nothing to show for it. Just like a foundation in the sand. But since they're doing it in like the middle of nowhere, they have to like build facilities around it to like house the employees and the people in it. And like, because like Saudi Arabia is like a monarchy that's like ruled by like one crazy guy, like they're also building like golf courses around it to make him entertained. It's like, it's the most crazy thing I've ever seen.
That is honestly just not surprising at all.
But yeah, it's because Saudi Arabia is like, it's a country that's effectively dead because like 99% of their income is from oil, and that is finite. So they're just desperately trying to do anything.
Right.
But no one wants to go to Saudi Arabia because like it is a horrible place to be.
Yeah, they keep trying to pull. That's me, by the way. They keep pulling influencers and everything. So I like how this is Eris anyway, even when you go on the date with Yuffie. She just decides like, hey.
This is Eris's. Rebirth is Eris's game.
Yeah, definitely. Anyway, they keep trying to get influencers to go there and be like, yo, just show how great it is and everything. I think, I apologize, it's some Middle Eastern country. It's maybe Saudi Arabia. One of the princes just hired Justin Bieber, did you see this, to do essentially crowd control at his birthday party for $10 million.
Wow, I haven't seen that.
And I gotta be honest, like, does Justin Bieber need $10 million? Probably not. But
isn't he like a 30-year-old, like, just washed up hack now?
Dude, but even on the royalties of his stuff has to be like, anyway.
Yeah.
But like, I mean, yeah, there's a level. Like, if someone was like, kill this person for $10 million, I'd be like, no, right? But like, if they were like, fly to Saudi Arabia and just do crowd control for $10 million, I'd be like, okay, I never again have to work in my entire life for going for this one thing. Okay, you know, like that's a whole philosophical argument. But like, just imagine having that much money just to be like, hey, we could hire this guy for like $500, you know, and he'd be a really good security guard. No, hire this guy who like can't do it, but it's literally Justin Bieber. It's like, what?
The other incredibly scary thing about like places like Saudi Arabia is that obviously there's like barely any human rights there, but there was this one politician who was like, he was talking internationally about like how the monarchy in Saudi Arabia is incredibly corrupt, and you just cannot like go against the crown prince's like word ever, even if it's stupid. And he said it like on a Middle Eastern media outlet in like Turkey, but like a couple weeks after that, Saudi Arabia like literally hired hitmen to kill him, and he like died in Turkey from hitmen. It's like, wow.
No, he committed suicide with 2 bullets to the back of the head. My
It's like, no
my
wonder.
favorite way. No, we're demonetized now. We didn't say unalived. Don't worry, we're not monetized anyway. He unalived himself with 2 slugs to the back of his head. No, but yeah, I think I heard of that actually.
It's like, no matter what they do, it's like they can make, even if they make this line place that just is the biggest waste of money vaporware project I've ever heard of.
Well,
even if
also,
they made it, no one's gonna want to live there because no one wants to live under Saudi Arabia's like, tyrannical monarchy, where like you can just die.
Daily reminder that Wedge died off screen.
Yeah.
He survived remake. He did. He survived. And then they just threw in a random because coming into the game I was like, oh, it's gonna be different. He survives and Big survives and blah blah blah. And they were like, oh no, he fell. Like in some random cutscene. I'm like, okay. Yeah, so like the weirdest thing about that is like generally what you do with like society is like you start at like the center point and then you just start like terraforming out slowly. I mean, it makes sense. You don't just go to like an uninhabitable place and be like, let's start right here, 100 miles away from anything. Yeah. Who's gonna come to it if it's 100 miles away from anything inhabitable? It's why Australia has like 60% of the land is uninhabitable.
Yeah, like 90% of the population's in the bottom right corner.
Because,
and there's like one other city in the bottom left.
Because it's uninhabitable. If you gotta make it habitable, you have to start very slowly from like the cities and suburbs and like slowly terraforming. You can't just go to the middle of the outback and be like, let's make a city here. Also, the person in charge of Australia is David Lynch. Let's make a city here. Oh, this would be great for...
I'm Vincent.
I'm Vincent. I guess... Yeah, there's... we're not going to see it this time, so it's not a big spoiler, but Vincent used to be a Turk. I forget if he says that or you find that out. Sorry, spoilers. And you finish battling the Turks and he comes in and goes, dying is not becoming of the Turks. And I was like, alright. Nomura just has to push him in to be like, he's here. He's here! He's doing something!
So you got to the point where Cloud like fought against the Turks and like almost killed one of them, right?
Yes. I think it was Elena.
And it's like, I get that he's incredibly mentally messed up because like he's becoming Sephiroth basically, but it's like the Turks dropped the plate on Sector 7.
Yeah.
Like they are like, you kill a bunch of Shinra grunts, but you won't kill the guys who are like your direct.
Yo, we're gonna see in the Temple of the Ancients. Oh my God, spoilers! I'm so sorry. We're gonna see Shinra soldiers being meat puppets. Holy moly! And not you fighting them just dying in comical ways.
And they save like all the blood splatter for that too. Like there's a point where like Cloud like cuts at Shinra grunt and like their blood splatters on his face.
Yes.
It's like that's your teen amount of blood that
I just did that today. Yeah. So man, I'm telling you, they like they just go from like Shinra soldiers. That's I guess one complaint I still have about this game is like sometimes they'll make them very very humanized. Like in a side quest, you meet up again with your crew from the Junon thing. I forget if it's Midgar 7th Infantry or something like that. And they're like, oh yeah, and they're like they give them all like unique things, and you're like gonna kill one of them, but then the lady commander comes in and is like, I didn't see anything, but if I see you again, we're gonna fight. And it's like, okay. But then they just have like 5,000 of them die, like, at the Temple of the Ancients. I'm like,